Welcome back to Cricbuzz Live. South Africa were put into bat by the United States of America, and boy, they put on a show for us. We spoke at length about how the openers need to fire, and the openers heard us because Quinton de Kock got 74 of 40, Aiden Markram got 46, and Heinrich Klaasen got 38. Saurabh Netravalkar, the pick of the bowlers, 2 for 21. And he tried his best even in the 19th over. I think gave away just 6 runs. But Gilly, Michael, it was a show we wanted to see for a long time, this World Cup that South Africa have put on today.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny at the start. They got, the USA came out the traps, bowled beautifully in the first 3 overs, 1 for 17. And I think we were all thinking, 150, 160 if they get going. And all of a sudden that 4th over from Jasdeep Singh just went for 28. Quinton de Kock just started to climb into him. And all of a sudden you're thinking 210, 220, and then there's a couple of good overs. The spinner Harbeet Singh bowled beautifully as well, 2 for 24. But Klaasen at the back end, he's such a consistent hitter.
Yes.
He just seems to be able to find the boundaries. So I think South Africa will be delighted. 194, the pitch is just doing a little bit for the spinners. I think that should be plenty in the tank for South Africa.
Gilly, in the pre-match show, you said that sometimes it's that 1 over that can change things around. That 1 over, the 28 run over that Michael's speaking about, could that be the change around for South Africa this World Cup?
Yeah, it may well be. It certainly was for Quinton de Kock. And he took the initiative. He put the pressure back on the US bowler, Jasdeep, who really had no answer. And then the next phase, probably 4 overs, it just seemed like the US bowlers all fell into the trap of falling into the zone that exactly where Quinton wanted the ball to be, and that is to sort of hang back a little bit and just pick up to that leg side, or they dropped even shorter and he sort of scooped a few over the short fine leg for 6. He got a bit fortunate with one off the top edge that went up. It just flew the boundary, went for 6, may well have been caught on another day, but good on him. He's taken the game on there and had it go his way. I mean, that's a very, very competitive total. One of the bigger totals, certainly in the top 5 of this tournament by way of runs scored. It's not as good a pitch as what we've seen there by the run scoring. I think that the US bowling showed its, lack of international experience and just got caught into being dictated to by a world-class player there. So I think it might be a bit more challenging once the spin comes on for the spin twins of South Africa. That score might be a bit inflated compared to what the conditions really are.
Well, the highest runs chased on this ground are 176, so 194 could be a little high for USA, but let's not forget that against Canada, they did get 174. Not on the same ground, but they have chased down big numbers. But they started off, South Africa, 16 of 16, and they lost that first wicket, after which Quinton de Kock came in and did things that we are so used to seeing. He was quintessential Quinton today. And of course, Markram giving him that support on the other end, but just so good to see him back to doing what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I guess only David Miller was at first ball, but I think South Africa will be delighted because all their players had a bit of time in the middle as well. And I'm not disrespecting the USA, but you obviously need to win these games. But if you can win them with your team playing kind of a whole project together, I think that helps going forward to the next game. Desperately needed from the South African perspective was everyone with a bit of time in the middle. They've had a tough few games in terms of the pitches that they've been playing on, so their rhythm will be just a bit out of sync. And they all looked in good touch. They all played some good shots. They got the the scoop going nicely. The right-handers played that beautifully. But I think for South Africa to be really dominant, it's that opening combination. Obviously, Hendricks missed out again, but Quinton de Kock, he kind of reminded me of how good a player was today. We go back to, in India in the 50-over World Cup, he did that on a regular basis. Going out there, batting first and just climbing into all the different types of bowling. And that's what he has in abundance. I don't think there's a bowling kind of specific that can challenge Quinton de Kock. When he's playing well, he can hit everybody. He can hit the left armers, the right armers, left arm spin, right arm spin. He's just got a gift to be able to hit the ball when he's in good form. So, I think of all the South African batters, if I was in the South African camp that I'd want to see back in form, it'd be Quinton de Kock, and he's found that form today.
And we said it in the combox at the halfway point. It's not often that a batting lineup fires. in the same game. There's just not enough time in T20 cricket, but the breakdown of scoring there shows you. And to get to that 64 in the power play, that was that onslaught. At halfway point there, they were 1 for 17 off 3.
Yes.
So you can do the maths there and work out that assault in the back end of the power play set up the rest of the innings and allowed them just to be able to dictate the terms to get up to, up close to 200. But I think David Miller's dismissal was a bit of a lazy stroke. He would have been sitting there. I'm sure they would have had himself and Klaasen padded up, working out who was going to go 4-5, left hand, right hand. All of a sudden there's a wicket fall, the left hander goes in. Just wasn't sharp enough. But I think that dismissal also showed you that this pitch can just hold a little bit, particularly for a spinner that can get it in there and just have some natural and subtle variation. So they'll have to look out for that, the US batting lineup.
But Gilly, we've seen this with David Miller. He likes chasing. When he comes in and plays in the first innings, usually, I don't know if it's a mindset thing or what it is, but he clearly prefers chasing.
He likes, and this goes back to when I was captaining him in the IPL. He likes sort of 2.5 runs per ball chasing. 90 off 38. He likes those scenarios and he gets them. Get him in there like that where you think, okay, perfect setup just to go and pull the trigger and unleash. And there are some players that are a bit like that. They like the more pressing, pressurised situation.
But Michael, otherwise a very happy batting card for South Africa. Quinton de Kock got that 74. Then Markram supported with that 46 of 32. Then we spoke about Klaasen and how he's just a class act. And Tristan Stubbs finished the innings with that scoop shot. It's just beautiful how he keeps doing it.
Yeah, 4 out of the 6 with a good amount of time in the middle. But you look at that 6. That's a match for any top 6 in the world. They've got everything. They've got the left hand at the top. They've got real power. They've got Miller, obviously left hand in the middle, who hits spin beautifully. And they've got. I think Tristan Stubbs is the next superstar. I think he played well in the IPL. He played some incredible innings, and I just think he's got a natural gift just to be able to hit the ball 360. We've seen him play that reverse scoop, the natural scoop. He goes over extra. He goes over mid wicket. He goes down the ground. He is a player that we're going to see plenty of over the next few years. He's a brilliant cricketer.
But just Tristan Stubbs and Klaasen, like Michael was saying, he looks like the superstar of the future. But both of them together in that middle order, we've seen what they've done in the IPL. They just love hitting those sixes, don't they?
Yeah.
We saw it today as well. Again, Klaasen so good off the spinners, 53-run partnership of 30 balls. So this is not what a bowling attack wants, to have that kind of a middle order to bowl to.
No, it's packed. Klaasen can seem to hit the same ball, particularly off spin, particularly short balls.
Yes.
He gets rocks back and he seems to be able to hit it for 6 in 3 different areas, almost over the offside. If he hits it a bit earlier, he just flat bats it back over the bowler's head, or he can just get through the swing a little bit earlier, and get it to the leg side. So, he's so skillful in that regard, but so powerful and without doubt intimidates bowling lineups, intimidates spinners coming in. So their mind is scrambled, working overtime. They just saying to yourself, I can't drop short here, no room for error. And what do? You drop short and then he's pounced.
Well, Michael, when you have this kind of a batting lineup which fires on a given day, the bowling card will look like it's a little messy. We'll have a look at USA's bowling card. They used 7 bowlers today. Netravalkar, again, the pick of the bowlers, 2 wickets in his 4 for just 21. But we can see Jasdeep was very expensive. That also was the turning point. Corey Anderson has come in, bowled just that 1 over, but again, very expensive. He's someone that America would have wanted more out of.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some figures there. Ali Khan just beat Jasdeep Singh and Corey Anderson. I think they've gone for 98 in 7 overs between them. So that's really where the main damage was done for South Africa. I felt for Jasdeep. He comes and bowls that 4th. It's not an easy over to bowl, particularly when South Africa have had a slow start. They're at 17, and he would have run into bowl going, they're going to come at me.
Yes.
And I guess as a bowler, you just hope that they miscue an early blow and it goes to the fielder and you get an early wicket. But I thought he had to bowl the hard overs, and as Gilly said, I think the bowling attack from the USA, it's okay. They've got an outstanding left armour. They've got an incredible left armour who absolutely have no doubt will be picked up around the world because he's skillful. We saw him bowl 19th over, he follows the batter. He studies what the batter's doing. We saw Tristan Stubbs go wide outside off stump to play the ramp, and he just followed him and almost said, right, I'll hit you on the boot. Wherever you're going to be, I'm going to hit your boot, which is quality bowling. So they have a standout left armour, but, I think the rest of them they're just good triers. I have to credit Aaron Jones actually as a skipper. I think he's the most enthusiastic captain I've ever seen.
Kept going up to the
Well,
bowlers,
if you've got the old long barrier down at mid-off and stops it, he came and gave you a nice pat on the back. You didn't have to do much for the skipper to come and say well done. But I like that kind of energy. But that attack is hittable. If you go back to New York when the pitch was doing a bit, I think it kind of probably over-escalated how good an attack that is when you get them on a better surface like we see in Antigua. And it's not a road, it's just a good batting surface. They kind of got exposed a bit today.
But really, like Michael said, Saurabh Netravalkar in the 19th over with a Klaasen and Tristan Stubbs to hold his own, be calm and give just 6 runs. Very impressive.
4 overs for 21 in that total, with the early wicket that just opened it up at a time where we thought, hello, they might be on here today. But I like his calmness. He looks like a computer programmer, I reckon. He just chills. A coder, if that's what he does. I'm not sure. But, he just doesn't seem to get flustered by a situation. Obviously, there's a strong cricketing heritage. We think when we're talking about a USA cricketer that's someone new to the game, but he's grown up with the game and played at a very high representative level through his junior career. So he's probably one guy out of that bowling lineup that has been exposed to more pressurised situations in big games relative to where you are in your age and your career. But I agree. I think there'll definitely be scouts out there going, not just looking at the numbers, but observing an over like the 19th game. That's cricket smarts. That's not panicking and a calculated plan and then delivering and executing that plan.
Well, America's come out to execute their plan. They've hit a 4 of the first ball. So we'll quickly do our predictions. They're coming out with a clear intent. Michael, why don't you go first?
I'm going to say 45.
Okay.
God, that's 46 I had in my mind.
So go with 46.
I'll stay with it.
Yeah, you go with 46. 45, 46, I'll go with 41.
We're covered.
I'll go down lower. We'll wait and watch. We need a winner in the English studio, so hopefully we get this one correct. They have a winner down. We'll give you all the updates at the 10 over point, so do join us there. Thank you for watching Cricbuzz Live.